What's going on, guys? It's Wraith back with another video. Now in today's video, I'm basically going to explain probably the best way in all of Fortnite that I think you can actually improve. And this is for all around things improving. This is for building, editing, aiming, IQ, everything basically, right? Turtling, so like, I don't know, this is cover kind of everything, so it's probably one of the best ways, and you'll see pros do it all the time. And it's just 1v1ing people. Pretty simple, not too hard. If you don't know what that is, you're probably a little bit in trouble here. But hey, no big deal. You can learn it still. But basically what 1v1 is you go against someone in a creative match and you fight them. Pretty simple. You'll see players like Mongrel and Face Sway. He's known for his creatives. Basically, they do this 24/7 a day, 24/7 hours a day. Like, they play so much, right? Just 1v1s because it literally does practice everything you can possibly actually think of. Now I'm gonna go through a couple ways of like why it's good and also how you can set up the best so you're actually improving the quickest. And the first thing I want to say is play someone either that's better than you or very similar. Like if you're winning 8 out of 10 fights, not the greatest, right? You want to be fighting someone who's maybe 5 out of 5 fights, you even losing a couple, because that's gonna make you like push yourself to the highest you can go. You want to be pushing yourself. You don't want to kind of be, okay, like this is too easy, I'm not really learning anything here, right? You want to actually be learning shit, right? That's the whole point of the time. This is kind of personal preference, but I say to make it more realistic is turn on fall damage and take off glider redeploy. I'm playing on my buddy's map right now, so I didn't really get to choose that. But yeah, I'd say take it off because then you can actually do fall damage like it is in real game, so that actually gives you a good practice and good in-depth like way of actually building. Like, you're not going to build 20 stories out, right, if there's fall damage. Another thing is play with blue guns. Very unrealistic that you're going to get gold like all scars, pump, P90 or something inside of a game, right? So just play with blue guns because they're more adaptable, I guess you could say. You're going to have them more whatever, right? Doesn't matter that much, but it's kind of just a small thing. And if you really want to make it seem as realistic as possible, you can make it so it's 500 maximum. You just add those little, you just add those little spawn pads and add mats onto them and make it so infinite mats aren't turned on. Basically it just gives you the most reliable way of actually fighting, but sometimes it's just good to play infinite mats, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you guys. You're the ones doing it. The first thing I'm going to say is figure out what you're doing wrong and try to improve on it. Like, after watching this gameplay in the background of me 1v1ing, my 90s are absolutely bought in this. I don't know why or why all of a sudden they're just bought, but for some reason in this entire build fight, and I've been noticing a lot of build fights, my 90s, I'm just missing them. I'm Harry Pottering myself every single time. I'm jumping through the ramp. Just so many things that are wrong with my 90s that I'm gonna be like, okay, I clearly need to start working on them more. So now in creative or whatever playground, I'm gonna start practicing them more. This is a good thing about it, is you can re-watch your build fights, or you can watch and see what's not working in your build fights. Like right there, I don't know how I messed up on that 90. It ended up working out, but it shouldn't be that bad, right? Like, it should be pretty consistent, especially since I've been playing for so long, right? So I'd say get used to something you're doing wrong and just practice it. If you're missing your shots, go practice your aim. If you're missing your 90s, go practice your 90s. If you're missing your retakes, you know what to do. The next thing I'm going to say is you can practice taking height. Now, obviously, I've talked about this. Taking height's very important in Fortnite. Again, there with the 90s, don't know what's going on. But taking height's very important in Fortnite. It's not as important as it used to be, but it still is pretty important. So you can practice actually learning how to take height, retake height. Both of them are very important. If you're low ground, you want to learn how to practice retakes, like Face Sway. Absolutely god for learning how to retake high ground. Like, if you guys don't watch him, he's absolutely incredible for his retakes. I do a couple of his on my own, obviously not as quick as him, but yeah, it's a really good way to help practice retakes and how to actually maintain high ground and not lose it, because again, high ground's still important, but it also kind of, this 1v1 actually kind of helps you for learning how to play low ground too, just in case you can't get the high ground back, you don't have enough mats, or you gotta play more passive. It's really good for helping you actually learn how to play high and low, which is, again, you want to be a good all-around player. You don't want to just be able to play from height, or you don't just want to be able to play from low ground, right? You want to be able to do both. So that's very important. The next thing is it helps you with edits. Now, the way it does this is you can try a bunch of things. Like, this is a free zone. If you die, you die. Don't worry about it. The whole point of it is to improve. So you can practice crazy edits. You can practice pyramid edits like 10 times. You can practice faking a wall edit and then re-editing it and then going again, right? You can do whatever you want. The whole point of this is to get better. If you're not getting better, there's no point of doing 1v1s, right? People 1v1 just for the sake of 1v1, I 1v1, and a lot of pros 1v1 to improve, get better, get noticed, etc, etc. Now editing is the big part. Like I said, you can try crazy things. If you mess up, it doesn't matter. You may as well try it. If it doesn't work, but you think it's a good edit, then practice it in game. It's not a big deal. You practice it in creative, you practice it at free builds, or you continue to practice it in here. Now the next thing is, this one's very, very important. I find that not many players learn how to do it, is blocking other people. So you see throughout all these build fights that this guy right here, he's pretty good at blocking where I go. So basically he places, whenever I place a cone to prevent him from coning me, he places a floor, which is pretty smart. So basically you just gotta adapt. Like I gotta adapt and learn, okay, I'm gonna place floor and wall, or pyramid and wall. So then he can't do that, right? Pretty simple. You can adapt pretty easily. But you wanna be like, blocking is not just about when you're ramping up, it's about blocking other people. You wanna be able to learn how to counter their high ground retakes. You want to be able to cone them, you want to be able to floor them, you want to be practice editing down on them. Mr. Savage is definitely the best editor, or blocker, I guess you could say, I know. He is just an absolute god for being able to block kids from coming up to his height and actually taking height, or even if their height, when he's retaking height, he's very good at blocking them or countering them from actually continuing to go up. So I'd say blocking is definitely a huge deal on how to on 1v1s and actually in fights in game. So I'd say focus on trying to practice with your pyramid or trying to practice with your floor. It's going to be a big boost. Trust me, it's very important to learn. Now the next thing is just aim in general and flicks. You can kind of decide about this one. Like for example, I did a video on how to improve SMG aim, and I said basically for the SMG aim, just make it just strict SMG and you just use SMGs in a build fight. Again, if you just want to work straightly on pumps, just use pumps in the build fights. You want to work on just ARs, use just ARs, etc, etc, right? I recommend either pump, AR, SMG if you just want to work in general, or just pump SMG. You don't really need the AR, it doesn't really matter, it's up to you. But yeah, there's a couple things, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's again your personal decision what you want to work on. But flicks and aim is going to help tons in this, because obviously grinding creative maps or grinding Kovacs is going to be a big deal. But you're just in so many like AR fights, SMG fights, or pump fights that you just can't help get better, right? So your flicks are going to be way, way better because you're going to be able to practice flicking people from height or flicking people when you're side jumping, whatever, right? So this does actually help improve your aim, which a lot of people didn't know that, but it does, trust me. Now the next thing is, basically 1v1s, like I explained, is improving everything. It improves your IQ because you got to figure out when to take height, when to stay low, when people do stuff, and the biggest thing I'd probably say is you get to learn other players. So don't just 1v1 one player for the rest of Season 8 and then into Season 9. 1v1 different players. 1v1 kids around your styles. There's people all the way in Discord, there's people in Reddit, wherever you're looking for, always down to 1v1. But you want to 1v1 different people so you figure out how people play. Now that's very important, because if you know what your enemy does and you know what he's going to do, way easier to win the fight, right? So if you fight 10 people and say 8 out of the 10 do a side jump to the right when you ramp over them or something, it's something like that, you can remember that and be like, hey, the odds of someone doing a side jump over me after I ramp over them are pretty high. So in a game, if you ramp over them, you're going to be ready for it, right? They may not do it, but it just gives you kind of a better chance and better understanding to actually be able to have the chance at doing it, right? But yeah, overall, it helps with your aim, helps with your building, helps with your editing, helps with your retakes. There's so many things I can list off. That is the reason why so many pros do 1v1s. And if you're struggling with retakes, or you're struggling with doing something, or when to edit down, or when to make a cut play, whatever, literally just look on YouTube. Tons and tons of videos explaining retakes, keeping height, keeping low ground, when to ramp edit, when to pyramid, etc. Anything you can kind of make dreams on basically is on YouTube, as well as pros 1v1ing. I highly suggest you watch pros in it, because you're going to learn some cool ramp rotates or ramp retakes, whatever it is, because of the pros, and they'll be doing it and you can just kind of copy them. Yeah, so that's basically it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Did put a lot of effort into this, so if you did enjoy, make sure you smash the like button and hit that subscribe button. Everything helps. And yeah, we're almost at that 2,000 subscriber range, so that will be pretty lit when I hit that. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.